Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Top 5 Wednesday. The topic for this week is non-horror books that scared you. So books that aren't of the horror or paranormal genres but still really scared you for some reason. So obviously for me, psychological thrillers often scare me because they play with your mind and they often feel quite realistic and stuff like that. So I do have a couple of thrillers to talk about in this video, but there are books in other genres that scare me for various reasons. So obviously I'm going to talk about those too. So the first one I want to talk about is an adult psychological thriller called Sweet Pea by CJ Skews, and this is about a woman called Rhiannon who has a violent crime in her childhood, but she's gone on to lead a seemingly normal adult life, but she has this secret, very strong killer instinct. And I am scared of this book because of how much I fully relate to our psychopathic protagonist, Rhiannon. I was just fully on board with a lot of her motives, even though she does really terribly sick things. There were several points in this book where I totally understood her, and that obviously really scared me on a personal level. It's a very well written psychological thriller, so if it sounds like your sort of thing, I would definitely recommend it. The next one I want to talk about is 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. Now this is the only book in this trilogy that I have read because I don't want to go on to read the rest of this trilogy because of how much I disliked this first one. I don't like how the relationship between Anna and Christian is portrayed to be something that young people should aspire to have, because it is a very dangerous and abusive relationship. It's really not a romantic relationship that anybody would really should have, that anyone deserves to have, and I actually think that it portrays sexually adventurous couples in a negative light as well, and it just really scares me that people are reading these books and seeing these films and thinking that their relationship is this wonderful magical type of romance that everybody should aspire to have, because it's really not what I got from these books. So that is why 50 Shades of Grey really scares me. The next one I want to talk about is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is a really popular YA contemporary book, and the whole reading experience of this book really terrified me as a white person, because it really taught me what it's like to be judged for your skin colour, and it really spelt it out to me exactly what non-white people go through on a daily basis. I wasn't terribly impressed with the whole story or the plot. I did find it a little bit boring in some places, but the whole reading experience was just so unique, and it's a really important book that I think everybody should definitely read, because it just really sort of spelt it out to you, and it really made you feel like our protagonist Star or a member of her family, and it was just really terrifying. So yeah, I'd really recommend The Hate You Give. The next one I want to talk about is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James. This is a YA sci-fi thriller that terrified me unexpectedly, because halfway through the book it took a really unexpected, dark, twisted turn that I didn't see coming at all. It was just so claustrophobic. Reading this book, and I did read it in one sitting, was like one big anxious mess basically. It was so scary. It really was. But if it sounds like your sort of thing, I definitely recommend it. It was just so fast-paced, roller coaster, terrifying mess basically. So yeah. And the last one I want to talk to you about is In the Afterlife by Alexandra Bracken. Now I actually haven't read this book yet because I'm scared to read it, because I've read the first two books in this trilogy, The Darkest Minds and Never Fade, and I am madly in love with the male protagonist Liam in this. He's just amazing. He's one of my favourite book boyfriends. He's just so gorgeous and so everything that I would ever want in a guy. But this is a YA dystopian trilogy, so I am terrified to finish it, because my experiences of YA dystopian series is that something terrible happens to my favourite character every single time. So therefore I am terrified to finish this trilogy, because I really don't want anything bad to happen to Liam. So that is why I am terrified of this book. And that is it for this week's Top 5 Wednesday. What are some non-horror books that scare you? Please let me know. I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.